Hello and welcome, dear friends. Many of you wanted to know how to decode the simulation within the bigger one and how to understand the life that you are living through the sensory perceptions that are given to you, as well as internal system, your God-given antennas by the name intuition that is into you, within you. So we will start very gently, as I always do, right? Until it gets spicy. To decode the number synchronicities. These have become very common to the point where even this world is using. So for example, in many cases when your guides, the universe, the divine forces are aligning for you, let's say 1111, so will this world push its own in order to tip the scale. So it's time for you to realize that this world is also aware of the global awakening. Throughout the videos, when I share these snippets with you, how to decode your simulation, you will actually see that the world is already ahead of the ones in the spiritual community who are just seeing the shiny of the number synchronicity, and as well as thinking that in the social media feed the universe is aligning something for you, when in actuality it might even not be the case. In any circumstance, you must act as a sovereign being, as a soul, which means you call the shots. And whenever the universe is aligning something for you, it is usually in a very majestic way. This is an indication. It will usually be like a light bulb moment. It will be like an aha moment, like a gift, like a joyful present. This world is usually gonna either push it to you or is gonna make it extra loud. This is how you know that's not it, even though it's gonna talk like it. So for example, the 1111, you can look at it as invitation to start anew. The two pillars on each side, left and right, and entering a new level of awareness. When the synchronicities align you to enter in this 1111, whether it is through a circumstance in life, whether it is through a book, a video, a movie, or even a heart-to-heart conversation, when during and after you actually reach the next level of awareness, then you can tell that the universe aligned you to it. Remember, this world knows exactly how to awaken. Everybody knows how to do that. It is your innate. The difference is in the choice. So there are people that don't want to, and there are people who want to, but everybody knows how to do that. Now, people who say they want to and they're seeking is because they bought into the idea to seek externally. So the more you're going to be seeking externally, the more you're going to be going in all directions, and not in a good way. Because there's only one way. From the inside, your DNA is going to let you know how to do that. You just have to spend time with yourself, and you have to be patient with yourself. The 1111 is an indication for you to actually create new patterns, create new hobbies, starting to create something new in your life. And that will begin also with a new way of thinking. And that is through the formula, know thyself. You'd have to catch throughout the day how your mind is thinking, your conversations that you are having with yourself. Are you judging yourself a lot? Are you hating yourself? Are you jealous of someone? Are you being hard on yourself? Are you not getting enough sleep? It is anything and everything that is encouraging you to start anew. Journaling does help a lot because you see your progress on paper. The logical mind likes to register things. By writing things down, you actually see your progress because you will date back that this is the way you were thinking 3 months ago, this is the way you were thinking a month ago, this is how you're thinking today. This is why in our classes, I always encouraging you to bring your journal so that with every next class, you notice your progress. I try to integrate everything as we go to make it stronger and stronger with every next class, and including the videos that have been posted in between. Remember that this is the ascension process, and all the knowledge that I'm sharing with you, whether through the channeled messages or my own explanation, it is important to realize that these are all teachings that have been engraved within your DNA already. The reason why people tend to not understand or not seek from within is because it is very hard to face self. For those of you who are okay with that, you're noticing that this is the only thing that is helping you progress. In this day and age, with this so-called technological advancement, when everything is at the click of a button, quote-unquote convenient, people avoiding themselves more and more. So you are asked to go within again, and this is why spending time with yourself and journaling your feelings and your progress, as well as doing automatic writing, it is not for select in the whole world to channel. You can do it too. It is your innate God-given heritage to channel. So please pay attention that when something is ringing the bell, it's for a reason. When you have an inspiration, use it. Don't deny yourself of this actual pleasure of creating, co-creating something. It could be through art, drawing, arts and crafts, even cooking, singing, dancing, moving your body, as well as channeling and light language, inspirational messages. It is anything and everything that is making you feel whole and complete. When you are seeking externally and you still feel like you're missing something, this is an indication that that's not it. Now think of this year. How much did we seek externally, and how much did we find externally? How much did we have within, and didn't we already know? Have you ever had something that took a whole detour just to bring you back within, to tell you that, oh, I already knew that, oh, I already felt it, I already had my intuition tell me? This is your 11:11 moment to enter the gateways of the new beginnings, of the new way of doing, thinking, and being. On a bigger scale, it is not going to be so new because you are repeating what is written for you in your book of life, so to speak. The more time you spend with yourself, the more access you get to yourself. This would be through the Akashic Library. The main book to access would be your book of life for now, until you get it, until you're equipped researching it, so that you can start co-creating for the highest good of the universe. Remember that when you are a part of the collective, you will be co-creating with others, and others are getting through the gates into the new beginnings Some are getting it through the divine beginnings, and some are doing it through the worldly beginnings. So these are completely two different directions. One is leading to the everlasting life, and the other one is only on this plane of existence. That's all. There's nothing beyond it that this world can offer. So this is your 1111 moment. The new way of thinking on a bigger scale. Where are you going from here on now? Are you choosing the temporary that this world can offer you, that will lead to nothing basically after what this world can offer? Because there might come a time when the world cannot offer anything anymore, and the person becomes bored, which leads to depression. When choosing the 1111 from the divine gates of heaven, so to speak, this is when you get showered with ideas, inspirations, aspirations, motivations, and so on, to create, co-create, and continue moving on your ladder of ascension and even beyond. There will always be stages. You will always have opportunities to go higher and higher. You will always have opportunities to expand. The universe, the divine forces are always expanding. It's called life and living. And it's giving. It is abundant, which means it's always abundanting itself, right? Think of this world. It just takes. That's all it wants to do, is to take, because that's what it thinks how to survive, is to take. So what it's doing, it's copying, which you can buy into, but you don't have to, because if you are a child of God, it would be kind of like fast food. It's not nutritious at all. It kind of looks like food, but it's actually not food. It's kind of like that. Think of your new beginnings. With every new week, with every new month, with every new year, new decade, we're encouraged to be anew. That would be even a new day, a new hour, seasons. Think of this reality. If we are accepting the fact that we're supposed to live in the now, and that there is no time, that means that it is our responsibility to make the new beginnings. But until we can do it ourselves, we're giving this opportunity from the third dimension to see the separation of time that is split in seconds, minutes, hours, days, and so on and so forth, to encourage us to become anew. On a grand scale, what you are doing is coming back to your divine self. This is the living soul remembering its beginning essence of being divine from the source. Can you grasp what that means? This would require you to be at your purest form, in your most authentic beingness, in order to embrace that purity of yours. It's for you to realize that the space between the 1111 is right in your heart. And in order to feel it, you'd have to make your heart space bigger. You're always poured unconditional love into your heart. Sometimes it's not easy to feel it, perhaps because the heart space has been closed due to pains and whatnot. By making your heart space bigger, you have more opportunities to feel, and that is from the front, from the back, from the sides, the ribs, the whole heart energy center. the new beginnings. You're encouraged to create new patterns of action, thinking, feeling, speaking. It is one step at a time. No one is expecting you to become new, completely changed tomorrow. Although energetically, within your DNA, when one tiny particle awakens to its divinity, in actuality you are considered new, because you're no longer the same as the one before, with that particle locked and sealed. But it is up to your free will to have that particle to unseal in order to use it. How do you use it? You use it for your soul's growth. Now, how to find your soul? Through your inner, between your left and right in the center. So your 1111 is the indication from the universe, a welcoming call to come back home into your heart and to do what makes your heart sing. If the synchronicities remind you of a childhood song that you learned in the kindergarten or school or high school in your teenage years, so be it, because there could be some words in the lyrics that the higher self would be using to communicate to you directly. How many of you experienced hearing in your inner ears a song, and when you play it, it's like you're almost crying because it reminds you of that purest version of your younger self who was living a life in its authentic version without worrying how to make others happy, how to catch up, peer pressure, and just to seek externally all the time. It is the movement of your body that will help you to come back into your center. Moving your hips, moving your arms above your head. It is dancing your you-know-what off. Dance to the beat. It is not always using that many hertz music that you hear in your meditations. It doesn't have to be like this all the time. You have to move your body. So at times do put a nice, fun music, song with a beat to help you dance. You know, there are many songs from 80s and 90s that carry that awakened seed in them. And you could think, how come? Because it's been 30, 40 years, how could they? Well, because everything comes from God. It's just everything has free will, which way it chooses. And many songs from back then, even in their videos, have little tiny hints that let you know that this world is dreamt, and the stories of this world are dreamt, because you can't hide from God. Anything and everything can be used for good or not so good, but God is. Energy is. It is the responsibility of every sovereign soul to not be lukewarm, but to choose, you want to be hot or you want to be cold, and to do something about it. This world is gonna help you to be cold and it's gonna also push you to be hot. Yet everything is out in the open. In order to read and decode, all you have to do is see things for what they are. And in many cases, it is going to be in the plain sight. In the plain sight of creating a version of something and then telling you that you're a part of it. When you are asked to think for yourself, and are you a part of it, or are you a part of the living God? Words are limited, but the language of the heart is ever expanding, and it is right in the middle between your 11:11. So it is your responsibility to wake up and see things for what they are. When the weather is getting hotter, that is an indication that the planet is heating up, is stressed, which is an indication for you to help balance your innards, as well as help the atmosphere and the planetary energy to harmonize once again. And when it cools down, when it's so cold, it is your responsibility as a living soul to share love, to warm up. When you see volcanoes erupting, and when you hear the rumors of wars, connect the dots. When social media is promoting things of various topics and your body is stressed, connect the dots. When the weather keeps changing 3 times in an hour and you forget frequently, or you don't know what to eat, or you're having indigestion, connect the dots. When circumstances push you to be alone for a while and you're resisting it, connect the dots. That perhaps that new beginning and new ways of thinking are right here for you to acknowledge that you cannot find anything about yourself and how to connect to God within you somewhere out there. And in this new year, promise yourself to reconstruct your way of thinking, to make your foundation solid, that no matter what, you will check in with your heart, the gateway to heaven. There is only so much you can watch, so many terms you can know, but there is only one that is needed for the living soul. It is a full-on interaction with your Creator, and it cannot be done on social media, and it cannot be done with artificial intelligence. It can only be done with your living heart. So there is your new beginning back into your home, God-given self, between the I and the M. Where are you? Until you can say, in the name of all holy, I am back to myself. As an advanced soul who remembers why they even came here. Did you come here to download all the apps, or did you come here to remember and to do the will of your Heavenly Father? Did you come here to become distracted with all the shiny all over the place? Or did you come here to help the planet and the inhabitants? Who are you, and why are you here? And what is the secret in that number synchronicity 1111. And along with that, let's speak briefly of 555, the number that is indicating changes in life. But most importantly, when you keep seeing 555 and expecting changes and they're not coming, that means that they're not coming because you must make the changes, and then they will come. You are the change. You are that new beginning, and you are the one that is making changes in your life. You have free will. No one can do it for you into the real new beginnings. The artificial way is already set, and it is easy. So is divine, but perhaps not on this plane. But that's why you came here. You wanted to have this adventure. You might as well live up to your own standards. And remember that you are divine, and the gates of heaven are for those that are remembering and keeping up with that source light energy that is flowing through the breath of life, and that nothing artificial or anything that is bombarding with quantity, but barely inequality, to help you, remind you that the truth you're seeking is closer than your own breath, and you are the one you are looking for, and that's all there is to it. Make promise to yourself and write down what looks like your new self, the one that takes their power back and thinks for themselves, decides what they believe and not believe, even if it's promoted. And who cares who is promoting? Because the names are promoted as well. And who promoted those names? And who promoted those names? Have you ever thought of that carousel? Have you ever thought of that loop within the loop, down the rabbit hole? It goes deep. The problem is, it goes so far away from the heart of God. Yet it is your responsibility to wake up to your infinite being that is flowing through your veins, that it is within your bones, that it is your makeup within your DNA structure, that is designed by its essence to continue progress as a divine being. And I congratulate you for your strength, resilience, and desire to realize yourself into the sovereign being you came here to remember. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being on this planet. Thank you for being here in this day and age. You are needed. Each and every one of you is needed. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving!
Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.